Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our last event for CTE Week for ESL students. Today, we're going to be focusing on our amazing early childhood education program at Contra Costa College. I'm happy to see all of you guys here at Fireside Hall and everyone who's joining us on Zoom as well. And I want to welcome Professor Naidoo and May Saturn, who are here from the Early Childhood Development Program on campus. They're going to do a presentation to tell you about the program and jobs related to the field. And afterwards, you can ask any questions you have from them. And after that, we're going to have some wonderful past students who went through the ESL program through early childhood education. They're going to share their experiences with you as well, give you some advice about what to do if you want to get started in the program. And then you can ask them questions as well. And then finally, we'll have some food in the back that everybody can enjoy. So thank you so much, Professor Naidoo. I'm going to let you take over.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm so glad to be here and to see all of you and to hear of your interest in early childhood education. So, woohoo, way to go. So I'm glad that we get to come and share a little information about our program. As Ms. Nooshi said, my name is Michell Naidoo, and I'm the department chair. And I have May Saturn, who's our program coordinator. And you will get to hear from her a little bit when she talks about what we offer. Okay, so our program, Early Childhood Education, I want to highlight the quote that's on there, and it might be a little bit difficult to read on there, so I will read it to you. It says, learning and teaching should not stand on opposite banks and just watch the river flow by. Instead, they should embark together on a journey down the water through an active reciprocal exchange. Teaching Can Strengthen Learning and How to Learn by Loris Malaguzzi. This quote really highlights what we believe in our department. We do not believe that teachers stand at the front of the class and teach and tell you what to learn, right? But we teach you how to learn. And that's a very important part of our program. It's like that special dance that you do, because students bring their own selves and their own perspectives, their own culture, their own beliefs on how children learn, and they bring that into the classroom. And together, we learn and we process that information, right? So we encourage questions. We encourage you to actively, to be active in your learning process. Okay, so that's part of what our program is, and I wanted to share that. Hands-on learning is really important in our program. And on the slides that follow, you'll get to see some of our teachers and students engaging in that process as well. Okay. So early childhood education, right? When we look at what our program offers, we provide students with an understanding of the theoretical principles and practices in the area of child development. So we introduce you to theories on how children learn. And this is really important when you work with children, because the theories give you information on what is best practices for children. So when you're a teacher in the classroom and you're planning experiences for children, you will know the importance of development and what is appropriate for that child's development and the type of experiences that you're going to present to children or teach them and how you set up that environment, right? So I'll give you an easy example. If you are working with toddlers in the 2-year-old range, you wouldn't put scissors in a toddler's hand because they don't have the developmental skills to hold the scissor or the emotional skills or the social skills on how to engage with others, and it could be dangerous, right? So you learn about when it's appropriate to introduce scissors or cutting skills or writing tools for children. So you learn a variety of different techniques on how to set up the environment and how to teach children. Okay, so we also prepare students for various careers in our field. And that is working either directly with children and families. So you could be a teacher, you could be a director, right, of a school. So you'll be working with the families. As a teacher, you're working with the families as well. Because we strongly believe in the child, the family, and the community. That when we teach children, we are bringing in perspectives from the family because they are the first teachers of that child and their culture that comes into the classroom, right? So we work with families and you work with other professionals. So you work with volunteers or assistant teachers or sometimes specialists like occupational therapists or speech therapists that come in the classroom. So you develop your skills in how to engage and work with all of these different professionals. Aside from that, you also learn how to work indirectly on behalf of children. You learn the skills to, possibly, maybe not, your interest is not being in a classroom with children, because yes, I take it, it's not for everybody, right? You have to actually like being in the classroom working with children and hearing sometimes the crying, or there's so many different personalities going on, that it's not for everybody, but you like the idea of working on behalf of children. You could work in advocacy work, you could do consultation, develop curriculum, right? So there's different avenues that you can follow, and you'll learn more from May on that. Oh, did I miss a slide? I think I missed a slide. It might have been right here. Why early childhood education? Right? So why this field? Because it is the foundation for all future learning and skill building. Right? We know from brain research, right, how important the early years are, right? Not only about what is needed to develop the mind, the brain, and cognitive development, but we talk about the importance of relationships, responsive, caring relationships for children, right? And we know in the world today where things are so crazy and there's so much violence, there's so much trauma in the world today, just recovering from we're still going through the pandemic, right? And all of that trauma that people have been experiencing, we know how important relationships are and connections with people. So for us in our field, we really believe in the holistic development of children. And when I talk about holistic development, we don't only teach children for their mind, right? We're not working only on helping them learn math and language and science, right? Cognitive skills. We talk about developing their physical skills, so their large motor skills, their fine motor skills, their visual acuity, right? Balance, all of that is important in how children are learning and how they're gonna progress through their life. They also learn social skills. It's so important to learn how to interact with and engage with one another, and emotional skills. How do you manage your anger when you get angry? How do you identify that? So we talk about social and emotional skills for children to really learn how to get along with one another, how to say I'm mad when I'm mad and not have to use a fist or throw things at somebody, right? So those are important skills they learn. Conflict resolution skills. How do you resolve a conflict with somebody? So these are not only skills that you need in the classroom with children, but really these are lifelong skills that we all can use and practice throughout our life, right? So holistic development is so important for us. Research shows actually that children who go to preschool are more likely to graduate from high school, earn higher salaries, and own their own homes, right? So that's an important part, and we lay a foundation. So the early years are very important. It is also really rewarding. I've been in this field for close to 30 years now, and I love my job. And every morning when I wake up and I come to work, I know that there's going to be moments in the day that's going to be so rewarding for me. I smile. I'm happy when I walk into the classroom and I see the children. Right? They just bring so much joy. But it's also it's so much. It's so important. The work we do is so important for children, but also for the larger society, because those little children today are going to be the citizens in the community, right? And how they engage with others. You also learn how to help children learn and grow. Again, I gave an example on how we plan the environment that's going to support the learning and the development of the children. And another thing, the opportunities for personal growth. So you grow and develop, not only as a teacher and your skills and the competencies that you have, but also on a personal level, right? Especially in that area of social emotional growth, like just learning how to get along with others and others that are so diverse on so many different levels. And I apologize for the slides being out of order when I sent it, but I will back up to this one because May's going to share.
Hello, everyone. I'm Macy Turn. I am the Early Childhood Program Coordinator. I was a student here, not her student, but many, many years ago, I also took many of the early childhood classes we offer here. And so I'm going to be covering the degrees, the permits, the certificate of achievement, and also some possible careers. So there are three certificates degree that we have here. We offer the early childhood education degree that requires 32 units plus the general education to get the degree. And we also have the Montessori education program teacher degree. And I think that's very unique to Contra Costa. There's no, I don't know, in this area, I don't think there's any Montessori teaching program at any colleges locally. So that, in addition to that, we also have the early childhood education for transfer degree. So if you're planning to transfer, you can get that degree and then transfer and complete other BA degree that you want to. So besides the degree, we also offer um, certificate of achievement. So there are 7 here. We have the early childhood education. That one is the 32 units for the major. So once you finish the 30 units towards the major, you can apply for the for the certificate of achievement. And we also have the associate teacher permit. That's 12 units. And by completing that 12 units, you also that goes towards the 32 units. So it's not separate. It's on the same path. We also offer the associate teacher school age. So there's 2 specialized class in the school age, in addition to some ECE classes to combine for the 12 units. We have violence intervention and counseling. Again, there's also 2 specialized classes in there. We have the Montessori education, preschool teacher. Again, that 28 units is what you need to get the degree, and you can also apply for the certificate of achievement there. We also have the Montessori education introductory level. So if you have your 12 units, you're ready to go and work in a Montessori school as assistant teacher or a teacher. And then we have the associate teacher infant toddler certificate. That's brand new, and it's coming, I believe, in
Next year.
Next
Yeah.
year. So that's great. Again, all the certificate except for the first 2 are specialized certificates. So that means that in the future, when you're ready to apply for like the master teacher permit, you need specialization classes, you will be able to get that from the courses that you take here. And another thing is that permit is it's almost like credential in the elementary level. So if you're working in the early childhood field as a teacher, the permit will be what people are looking for, particularly if you are in a state-funded program or program like the YMCA, they get state money or federal money. So it's really important for you to get your permit. A permit is a combination of your education and your experience together. So the first level of the permit is actually the assistant, which is 6 units. You don't need any experience for that. But normally, I guess we didn't put it here, but the reason is that normally people, when you go out there to work, they'll ask you, do you have 12 units? And that's the associate teacher. So that's the level that we asked our students to try to get to if they want to start working. So the associate teacher permit will require you to have the 12 units plus 50 days of work experience. I included the matrix in the binder, so you can take a look at it if you want. So the teacher permit requires the 24 units plus 16 general education. So what's really good about this is that those general education courses are what you need in order to get your AS degree anyway. So it's stackable. That means that you can take this and then you can keep moving up and you'll be able to get your degree eventually. So the master teacher permit, I was talking about earlier about the specialization class, you'd need, as you can see here, say plus 6 units of specialization units. So you do need that in order to get the master teacher permit. And so in certain employment setting, for example, like the Head Start program, they do have a position as a master teacher. That's different from the teacher and associate. But if you work in a private center, they may just have someone that's a teacher. And that person may have a BA degree, may have master teacher permit, or even a site supervisor permit, but they do not necessarily have to hold a permit. But if you're working in a state Title 22 program, you will have to have permit. And I will go along, I will help you with this when you start taking classes, and then you come to see me as I guide you through, we'll work on this together, okay? So then we have the site supervisor permit, The site supervisor permit is for if you're in a site, maybe some school have multiple sites. So you're in a site and you need to have that permit in order to operate a center. And then program director, the same thing. If you are working in a Head Start program, you will have to have a program director permit to be a program director. Okay? Okay, so some possible career. I mean, it's once you get your units and you get your degree here and you move on to get either your BA degree or your master's degree, the possibility is almost endless. There's so many different type of job in this field. So if you look at preschool teachers, so most of our students, when they finish the program, they'll become preschool teachers. And that's great. We need more qualified preschool teachers. But we also have people that wants to operate their own family childcare. They want to, or they may have been operating a family childcare and they want units. They want to learn and learn more about early childhood development. So they come in to take classes. So you can own your business as a family childcare provider, or you can even own your own preschool business. So we have a lot of students that come through our program that now have a really great quality program. And one thing that I really want to do is maybe in the future what we can do is field trips. I would love to be able to go to different centers that are operated by our students, former students, right? So that's one area. And then Michelle was talking about curriculum development, and I can't really see the rest of it. But those are, if they have large enough school, they need people to be able to be specialized in how to develop curriculum, or even agency or company or places like that that needs to do that. So, and then you have parent educator. You can teach class at the adult school or at other type of agencies that may need someone who are very knowledgeable about children's development to be teaching. So, and then we have mentor teacher. We have a program here as a mentor teacher. You have to complete the program, and you are in the classroom teaching. You're going to mentor other students coming into the program. We have social workers. I know of several students that are finished with the program, eventually got their master's degree, and are now working as social worker or even I think it's some kind of specialist, like a therapist, working in different agencies like that. Then there's the camp counselor in the city. I think Troy is like a recreational coordinator or something, and he's an instructor here, and he was a student here too. So and then also in areas in mental health and child and family advocates. So we need, there's so many different possibilities. And I welcome you to come if you're interested in taking early child classes. Come to see me. I would we could do in person, we can do Zoom, sit down and you let me know what your interests are. And then we can create a plan together. And I normally meet students every semester just to see how you're doing, what are some things that changes and what do you want to pursue, is it getting your associate teacher permit and start working, or you want to finish with your AST here and move on to a BA degree program. So I welcome you to come and make an appointment with me. I think in the brochure it has my email and my phone number, okay? Thank you.
And lastly, which is a good segue into this last slide, we do have our Early Learning Center on campus, and the Early Learning Center is our lab school for the department. And this is where students can go and observe children in play. We have 3 preschool classrooms. We will be opening up an infant classroom soon, and we just opened up our toddler classroom. So students can get a really good sense of development all around, right? You can go from infancy all the way up into preschool. Years before, we actually offered a school age program that I ran, but we did not, we didn't have any more funding to keep that running. But that would have been just awesome because it would have been a real, whole, right, from preschool to the school age. So we do offer opportunities for students to come in and do observations. Some of your classes in early childhood will ask for observations of children in play, and you just need to make an appointment and be able to observe. You can also do your internship. There are certain classes, like I teach the violence intervention classes, that requires students to work in a setting for 3 hours a week, and that way you learn how to work with children who could be impacted by trauma, and you learn skills and strategies on how to work with children. And so you might need those 3 hours a week so you can actually be placed at our lab school. And then we offer employment opportunities. We also have a co-op class that if people are starting out, you can sign up for the co-op class and you can take up to either from 1 to 4 units where you can spend time in the lab school, and you can, it counts towards your units, right? So sometimes people need that one extra unit to qualify for something, and that could be a good way. But we also offer student worker. As a student worker, you can be at our center. So that's, kind of a short little presentation on our program and what we have to offer. I can take any questions that anybody has, or, oh, sure. No, thank you.
Thank you so much, Michelle and May. It was a wonderful presentation. It reminded me, I'll share with you guys, when I was 18 years old and a student, I worked at a learning center at UC Berkeley with 2-year-olds, and it was one of the best jobs I ever had. It was so sweet. Yeah, I often thought about going into this field. I should have. I love working with you guys too, but 2-year-olds are really cute. So does anybody have questions for May and Michelle? I know they gave you
So from
lots of
online-
information, but if there's anything that you didn't, that you would like to ask about, this is your chance.
From online, there is one question. It's actually asked if it's possible to share the information in the brochure with the online attendees.
Yes.
And then,
I will send I will share the presentation, if that's okay, Michelle, with everybody here and on Zoom. I will send this presentation to everyone next week. I will also scan the brochures and send it to everybody as well.
And was May's email in the presentation? Because one attendee asked if it's possible to email May.
The brochure should have my information.
Okay, we'll make
Yeah.
sure that it includes May's information as well. Thank you. Any other questions for the faculty?
Hopefully, we gave all the information you
I
needed.
think it was very thorough. That's what this means.
Yeah.
You answered all the questions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just come and see me if you don't want to ask questions now, but yeah, you're welcome to email me or come by the office. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for being so kind and welcoming to
Oh,
our students.
welcome.
So we're going to now have the student panelists join. We have 4 wonderful students, and they're going to be talking with Professor Naidoo about their experiences in the program and what they're doing now and what advice they have for you guys. And Professor Naidoo is going to introduce them each. So you guys, you can join there. And there's a speaker right in front of you, so as long as you're sitting close to it, you're fine.
Wait. Oh, okay. Yes. Guys ready? Yeah. All right. So I'm so excited that I get to ask my students some questions. Maybe I'll throw in some questions about what they learned over the time being. You guys remember your theories? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
I
kidding.
know, huh?
So on our student panel, we have, starting at the end, Anna Sandoval.
Okay.
Then we have Maria Castaneda, Iroda Lapasova, and Inderjit Kaur.
Hi.
So all 4 of our student panelists went through our program, and Anna is actually just completed hers last year. So I'm so glad she was able to join us. Yes. So I have 4 questions that I'll ask, and if you guys can feel free to answer any one of them or all of them if you want to. Okay. So the first question, I guess I can start with you, Anna. Since you just finished last year, so tell us about your experience as a student in this program.
Okay, so hi everyone. My experience in this program was like great. I got a lot of knowledge from all of my professors. I get to know many wonderful professors, also students. And now I'm so happy because I get the chance to apply them. I'm working as a preschool teacher, which I really enjoy each day, like working with these amazing children. And yeah, I think that's pretty much. Thank you.
Maria, do you want to respond?
Yes. What I got for this program, I feel like I got more than knowledge about the classes because I always feel welcome to the college. I got very good tutors that they were helping me with my paperwork. Like I was struggling a little bit sometimes, or sometimes more. May was a very fundamental part of that help because I met her since I was taking English classes outside in a program. And when I came here, when she came here, then I started after that. And May was always like helping me what classes next, send me to the tutor, give me the information for the tutor. I always got help here. I always got help here. It wasn't never say like I need something and I call May, I'm struggling with this one. What can I do? And she was always helping me. Later on, I met with Michelle, Dr. Sharif. Also, I have very good memories about her. Both of them, they were like don't get out from here. Keep going and keep going here at the college. You are on the right path. Only keep going. Even if sometimes you feel like you're struggling a lot, you go and look for help. And I always got it. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Rhoda?
Hi everyone, I'm Iroda. I think I am the one who took a while ago classes, but I took all of the early childhood classes. So what helped me is there's a lot of support. It's a lot of tutoring. It's a lot of communication. Because coming out from the ESL classes, coming from different country, it's a little anxious. But when I start taking one class at a time, that's amazing. Like how Miss Michelle she's my professor, she is my mentor, and I still work with her. Not only her, we have all the staff who are amazing, how they help, like with assignments, sometimes we struggle, sometimes it's like, the more I took classes, the more I learned how rewarding is that job to work with young children. So after that, I didn't stop. I keep continuing. Even now, if any workshops, any trainings, anything, I want to attend because I want to get more updated knowledge. Yeah. So and I liked about the program, like permits. Like I was like, 2 classes done, 50 hours done. Okay, Miss May, what kind of permit I'll have? Oh, assistant. What I have to do to get my higher permit? 2 more classes. What I have to do to get the teacher permit? What I have to get the site supervisor permit? It made me, I thought I'll open the school, like rent some place and open the school and become director. So I still have that in my mind, but I'm like, no, I'm so attached to where I am right now. But I have really positive experiences, and you always get support, always get help, you always can openly communicate with your professors, whatever you needed. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Rhoda. um, Indrajit?
Yeah, everybody say a lot, but I'm gonna share with you my little bit my journey and my experience. When I came to the United States, I don't speak English. I still my grammar parent there, but it's better because I have 3 kids and I don't speak English. So Dr. Sharif, which is she's not with us anymore. She helped me a lot to get in this program. She helped me to enroll my children in the EC department. She helped me to take ESL classes. So my kids go to the learning center with Miss Michelle, with Miss Aurora.
We took the same classes most of the time, huh?
We both took same classes, and I got a lot of support from the ESL classes. This program for the early childhood department, and which just makes me more success. I finished my AS degree, and Miss May helped me a lot. She always stop on us what classes we need to take it, when we have to do the permit. Like we don't remember, but she remembers everything. She just amazing person, and all the teachers, students, peers, you can get all of them help from anybody. It's great and it's amazing where I am. Without these ladies, I'm nothing. So I'm blessed to have these people, this college, this learning center. So I success here.
But you also brought yourself into it, Ms. Ruby. You went, you took the time to access the resources, to get the tutoring, to speak to your professors, and that helped you to be successful. So that was on you too.
Thank you.
Okay, the next question I'll ask Anna. What are some things that helped you to succeed in your courses in this program?
Teachers. Yeah, I think that's the main, that's the fundamental thing for this program, professors. If you have a question, reach out to the teachers, always, always. And also peers, it's very important to have a peer communication. Like if you have, maybe you're struggling with something, maybe you find a peer that he knows that, and then maybe you can together finish the homework and you help each other. That's what I learned, that having good communication with my professors and my peers did help me a lot. Like even when I'm studying for a test, it's very helpful to have another person like reading the questions, answer the questions, and it's something really, really useful. Thank you.
Rhoda, can you answer the same question? What are some things that helped you to succeed in the courses in this program?
Want to go next? Maybe she wants
I'll ask the other questions. Yeah,
Okay.
So, mhm.
Okay. Um, for me, it's a lot of things that helped me, but I will point out a few things. It is taking ESL classes first and finishing up. I tried to finish level 2, level 3, level 4, and then choosing the major. I started with like volunteering. I'm like, let me volunteer it at the early learning center. My two young children used to go over there, and I wanted to see them. You know, as mother, you want to see, and I start working over there. And then co-op class that you mentioned, that was amazing too because I needed units for financial aid. So I signed up for four or 3 units co-op classes. That way I was able to see how you work in the classroom and how you apply what you learned in early childhood classes. Like it was easier, I guess, and better for me to start working. Like you said, not everybody will feel like, oh, it's right for me. But I kind of felt, oh, that's really good. You know, I can practice my English talking with them. And also working with children, I feel like it's right for me. And then I kept continuing. So being in the program, volunteering, taking classes, and especially finishing up with ESL and then moving to early childhood was a big support.
Thank you. Maria, what are you doing now? Are you working in the field?
Yes, I'm working in the YMCA. Um, I'm a lead teacher of one classroom, 24 children. I have my site supervisor permit, but I don't want to be in the office. I don't want to be there. I love to be in the classroom, and yeah.
Okay. Anna, I know you mentioned that you were working already, but do you want to share the type of school that you're working in and the
Yes.
philosophy? Yeah.
I am working in a Montessori preschool. Uh, like I found the love for Montessori preschool when I was doing my student teaching. I found it really interesting, and I really like this. This is like a different. It's kind of different from traditional preschool. So I got the chance to be in this Montessori classroom, so which I was doing my traditional preschool teacher, and then I get to see so many materials, how the teacher like was like doing her job, their observation and all of that. So I found that it was really interesting for me. I found it really interesting, and I wanted to do that. So now I'm taking Montessori classes, and I'm in a Montessori school. I'm a preschool assistant teacher because I don't have any Montessori units. But they said as soon as you get 6 units, I guess, they can give me a classroom. I can be a teacher. Yeah, so I keep taking classes in this field.
Great. Yes.
What's the best part of the Montessori school? What part do you like the most? Why you choose the Montessori?
Okay,
Sorry,
so
I'm going to repeat so there are people on Zoom so they can hear. Can you tell me your question again?
What's the best part of the Montessori school for her?
Okay.
Why she choose that the Montessori is her like?
Okay, thank you. So the question is to Anna, why did you choose Montessori and what is the best thing about it for you?
okay. I chose Montessori because I like how the children are very like independent. They do everything by themselves. Like we encourage them a lot to do everything by themselves. They put the shoes on, they dress up by themselves, they serve their food, they clean up after themselves, and I found really interesting that like why not? And then on work period, it's the time when they choose what they want to do. Like we don't tell them, oh, we're gonna do this and this. No, they work freely, like without like they choose whatever they want to do, and you just be there to observe. Of course, you teach them how to use the materials, but you mainly there to observe. we do a lot of observations. Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. And the big difference between Montessori and play-based learning, so in our regular program, we focus on play as the tool, like children learn through play. And with Montessori, it's the same thing. The only difference is that how the method of teaching is different. So teachers would demonstrate, as Anna spoke about, you demonstrate how to use the materials, and then the children get to experience the materials. And there's sequential learning, and how the environment is set up is like that third teacher in the environment. The materials are also geared towards helping learning independent skills. So you'll find like a practical area, for instance, or a sensorial area in the Montessori. So there's different areas and different emphasis on what they teach and how they teach. Good question. Ruby, can you tell us about what you are doing now?
I'm the infant teacher right now at Crescent Park. I used to be in the learning center. So we move out to the Crescent Park in Richmond.
So you work for Head Start,
Yes, I'm
correct?
working for the early Head Start. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
I'm enjoying working in this field. I
Right,
can add
and
more.
okay, that's, oh, well,
Struggle in your job. What did you struggle the most while you're working?
So I'm going to hold the question. We're going to do questions at the end. So I'll remember. No, no, it's
No, it's
okay.
okay.
I'll remember that. And it's a great question.
Yes.
So we'll ask them at the end and they can answer.
Okay,
Thank
good.
you.
All right, I have one more question and then we'll take questions from everybody, okay? All right, so I'll start with Anna. What is one piece of advice you would give to a new student wanting to start this program?
Let's see, to not be afraid of like many of you are in ESL classes, right? Okay, so to not be afraid of like learning new things or not let the language stop you. Like even if you're struggling, go to tutoring. Like because for me, I went to ESL classes, and when I took my first regular class, I was so like I got scared. I was nervous. I was embarrassed to speak. Like it's so many things in my head, and then but thanks to these amazing professors, like I never gave up. Like don't let your language barrier to stop you. Yeah, you're welcome.
Maria?
Um, I feel like no matter what, keep going. We have children, we have family, we working, we have problems, we struggle in some different ways, and some days we feel like it's hard to do this. Maybe I'm not going to be able to make it. Maybe I'm always look for help. Always look for help. I was mentioning that May has been for all the time with us and with me especially. I will say about my personal experience with her. Sometimes I was crying with her. No, May, this one and this one and this one is so hard and this one. She always looked for a way to help me or at least to listen to me. And I was putting it out and then ready to keep going. And we humans. We're going through a lot of stuff sometimes, but you want the classes that you're taking, the experience that you get is yours. It's yours. It's going to stay with you. It's going to help you to be successful. It's going to help you to help a lot of children, to teach a lot of children, and they're going to teach you also. I have one child that said, in my family, we never give up. I said, okay, and mine either. And where he's struggling with something, he looked at me and he said, Teacher Lupe, because they called me for my nickname, Teacher Lupe, I never give up. I said, okay, you never give up. Keep going, and do your best. You don't have to to do like the same like her or like his. You do your best, and that's it. Feel good about it. Keep going, and we never give up.
Thank you. Iroda, what piece of advice would you give?
I will join these ladies. It's important that you keep going. Life is going on anyway. So if you would like to settle here, and especially as an immigrant, we need to have a career, like where you want to do. And like I said, co-op class is the best thing. Or early learning center, they need volunteers. Just sign up. While you're working over there, you can see, oh, maybe I can take this class. And you can, whatever you learned, like I said, you're doing practice. So yeah, never give up. Like we said, life is going on. Finish up your ESL. That's important too, because you'll write a lot of essays, a lot of critical thinking. So finish up. Nooshi Borhan, my best professor. I took many classes with her. Writing, grammar, reading, speaking, all of this. So yeah, now we're working together. So yeah, please finish your ESL classes and just start taking one or two early childhood classes. Co-op is the best way. If you get financial aid, co-op is a good class. You just go and practice working, and you get units for that.
Thank you. And last but not least, Ruby, what piece of advice would you give?
I don't want to say a lot because they already say, but I just want to add like when you work with the children, you have to do with the heart. You need a patience because a lot of we don't have a patience, but you have to have patience. Because I'm working in this field like a 17 years. I see every year the children, new children come. I see new faces, and never give up. Just their one smile make your whole day. Because I have one example. Recently, I have a new student in my classroom. She has an eye patch on her eye because she's adopted. And the mom goal was and responsibility. She has to have the patch 4 hours. But I see that child, mom put the mittens and the socks on her hands so she can take the mask out. And that girl, she used her mouth to remove her socks and the mittens and put her hand between the feet and rub it. And she take her patch out. But we learn from the children. If we teach them, we also learn from them. Never give up. Just keep continue. So, yeah. And also, today, lastly, I'm going to say thank you to Ms. Rhoda and Ms. Michelle. I never give my presentation good in the classroom. I get nervous and I stand behind. I say no. And again, see, again, they give me an courage. So today I didn't give up. So I'm here and I'm giving you my presentation, my experience for my job. So
Yes.
Thank you, guys. You guys did awesome. I'll, I'll hand it over to Nooshi, no problem.
Thank you guys for sharing your experiences and giving all the wonderful advice to our students. We're so proud of you guys and everything you've accomplished. It's really amazing. I get very emotional when I see my old students. But I want to say this has been an amazing week for us. I've learned so much about our CTE programs. It's great. But the most amazing part has been seeing our past students and everything they've accomplished. So we're really, really happy about that. So questions for these wonderful students?
Yes.
It's your chance.
What are your struggles in your, you guys are working right now, has experience among the children. So
I'll
what did you the most your struggles and how did you come out from that?
So I'm going to repeat the questions just so people on Zoom hear too. So the question is, what are some of your struggles in the jobs that you are doing now, and how have you overcome them, right? Okay, thank you. So anybody who would like to share?
One of my big struggles, like they mentioned it, was the language. When I started working in the field, I was saying good morning, how are you? Yesterday was Wednesday, tomorrow is going to be Friday, today is Thursday. And that's all. And I started working in a center that was I was the only Hispanic, and with African American, Filipino, and white. I was the only Hispanic. And they were asking me to translate. I'm like, how? The director was asking, okay, when we go to the meeting, all the teachers has to have paper and pen, ask questions, write it down. I was like, what can I write it? I don't understand what they're saying. How can I ask questions if I barely understand maybe 10% or less of that, what they were saying. But the first 2 weeks, I cry. I say, I'm going to leave. I'm not going to stay here. I can't. But then I'm glad I stayed. After 6 months, we were in a meeting, and one of my coworkers, she said, "What are you going to write about that?" I look at her. I say, "Oh, I'm going to do this one, this one." When I was talking and I was writing, I'm like, "Oh, I'm writing in English and I'm speaking." I'm like, I understood what she said perfectly, and I was answering her. I'm like, oh, I was so happy that I didn't give up, like I mentioned it before. But that was the hardest part for me. Even here at the college, still, I need help with the writing. Yeah, I have to be honest.
Anybody else want to share?
I will quickly say, I think the years when past that you get more experience, you don't feel like struggle. But every year is because our job, when we say rewarding, we are taking care of other people's babies, which is a precious thing in the world. So um, having staff, your team, coworkers together working with you, because we're role modeling. You cannot, like, we should be as a family to show children, also to know children. They're coming from different backgrounds. They speak different languages. I always think, how can I make a positive impact and have build that positive relationship that parents feel comfortable talking with the families and the child? Because first few weeks, yes, like maybe first few days, children come, they cry because they don't know. It's such a big place. You go home and you think, how can I help that child? You observe and you try to, those, it's like a stages. It's not a struggle, but it's every year, every semester, we have to, like you said, new families, new children. Sometimes you don't understand, they don't speak English. Sometimes they just want to be fed, they don't hold spoons. It's a different things, but like I said, it is not a struggle. I would say it's actually enjoyment because you're busy, you're doing something, and you see progress. Yes, today he ate the food. Or like walk in, child is not crying. Yes, we did it. So working with staff and helping each other, because you will have 8 to 9 children for yourself. Like for example, if you're exhausted, tell your staff, I need to take a break. Can you help? Communication. That's a main thing. Yeah. Other than that, like I said, I don't find it as a struggle. I find how can I make it better? How can I help this child for tomorrow? He'll have a better day, And my main philosophy is first thing before everything is building positive relationships. You know, that's we had children who moved out to kindergarten and we crying and they're crying. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's not high school yet, But you get so attached to them. And like I said, when you take classes, you learn about attachment, you learn about age-appropriate activities, you learn about trust, you like all of those theories. Yeah, you made us learn, but now I remember how to use them. So that helps a lot, Yeah, no problem.
Thank you. Any other questions? Are there any questions on Zoom by any chance? No? Okay. Well, I can say that one thing that's really obvious to me in this presentation is how much support students get from our early childhood development department.
Right.
So it's obvious. So I'm so happy to see that and happy to refer students to you guys because you do such an amazing job.
Please, yes.
And thank you guys. Thank you, everyone. We do have food in the back, so help yourself and you can maybe talk to these wonderful students or to the professors and ask them any other questions that you have. But thank you guys for coming. And as I said, I will be sending out all the information, including the presentation, and I will make sure it has, we include May's contact information so you can reach out to her as well. And I hope that you guys will follow up. And I do want to finish by saying one thing that I've said all week. I hear so many students talk about their language skills and being worried about that. And I want you guys to know that you speak one language at least completely. You are at least bilingual. That is a huge benefit. That's a huge plus and a huge strength that you have. So don't feel always like you're not defined by not being able to speak English perfectly. You are learning a second language, and that's more than many other people. So in the ESL department, we're here to help you, to support you, to help you improve your language skills, but you have a lot to offer. And many jobs, including childcare, but many of the professions we've showcased this week value bilingualism. They value having people who speak more than one language. So that's a great asset. Don't forget that.
Yeah,
Okay.
can I
Add
add
something?
something?
Actually,
please.
You want to say something?
Yeah.
Come on.
So I want to say this. So, for example, in my job, they offer me to be a Spanish teacher. So I'm teaching Spanish to little kids. They love Spanish, and that's one thing that you can do. Like if you feel comfortable doing like in your language, like at the beginning, like for me, it's very like it's more comfortable, like in Spanish, so I can give my lessons and I sing songs and things like that. So like I said, yeah, you can start by doing Spanish or your language. Yeah. And they really appreciate that. The parents, they love that. They really appreciate all your effort that you do for children.
Thank you for sharing that, Anna.
Yeah, and I like how you mentioned that. Please don't let the language. I remember how Miss Michelle was saying, you guys know more than one language. It should be strengths. It's not weakness. When I was offered to get like a head lead teacher position, I'm like, no, my writing is not good. I still have to take some classes. But, and she said, no, why are you feeling like, oh, I don't know English. No, I can't do this. No, that's your like second language. Like English, you're learning English, and you coming here, you know your language, your English. I'm like, no, Miss Michelle, I actually know more than two languages, and that's great. Now I'm mentoring Uzbek students from Uzbekistan, and other languages. So that's why always be proud. It's okay if you like here and there some mistake, or when you say something you feel like, oh, my accent is. Be proud of yourself. Keep doing what you're doing. Like we said, take as many ESL classes as you can and move on with other classes so you'll feel more comfortable. So then I realized, oh yeah, actually I'm learning English. Hey, in 10 years now I finished my bachelor's, bachelor's and master's. That's good. So be proud of yourself. Thank you. That
Sure,
was an
yeah, and I
important
want to
piece.
mention, Iroda talks about not knowing how to write well. She's finishing a master's program, so she's doing great. She finished it already. Last
Yeah,
time I saw her, she was
I
finished.
know, but it happened
So-
like many years ago, and I remember Miss Michelle. It's actually strength. It's not a weakness. You have to do it. I'm like, but never. It's okay. And writing will go in place. Read more books and take classes. Yeah, it was like a couple of years ago. But like I said, you brought up a very important point, because people who come from different places, they always feel like, I have a very heavy accent. So what? So what? I'm not American, but I'm adapting, I'm learning, I'm doing. So always feel free, always feel. That's first thing was I went to work with young children because I thought if I work with adults, they'll laugh at me. Because my English was limited. And I'm like, when I work with little children, I'm just gonna practice English. That was like a very first thought. I know children were not gonna laugh at me. And then that idea, I'm like, no, it's okay. So I'm learning, I'm keep moving forward. And we did it.
Yeah.
And I know I'm sure you will do, and you will be in a panel couple of years,
Yeah.
coming in the future.
Yeah, you could be a bilingual teacher in the classroom, and the English teacher,
Right.
the first language, the English, they can be there. So a lot of children in my program. So one of the teachers, she's a Spanish. She teaches Spanish, and another one they speak English. So the like in the white children and the African American children, when they comes in the morning, they don't say good morning, and they say, "Hola, buenos dias." They speak Spanish, like enter the door to the classroom. So I have one Arabic family. I say, Walaikum salam. They say, no, namaste, namaste. They told me, it was like a good, when you have a different kind of language and children learn, you also learn the basic words, even though you can't speak, but you can learn the words as childs need to. Yeah, so you can provide the words if they don't speak. Yeah.
Maria, you wanted
Yes,
to share?
I would like to share funny experience. When I started, I just got my associate teacher permit. It was 2010. And one of the grandmothers, she approached to me and she said, Teacher Lupe, I have something funny to tell you. I said, yes, what happened? And she said, my granddaughter is getting your accent. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. She said, no, don't feel that way. She said, it means like she's very close to you, she likes you, and that made me feel happy because she's safe and she's happy with you. She's trying to imitate, she's like copying you, imitating you. I'm like, okay. But I was like, it's because, the granddaughter was following me always, we're talking stuff, and her primary language was English. And she was like kind of copying my accent. And I'm like, there's nothing that we can do. We get attached, and that's it. The relationship was over the language. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. That's a wonderful way to end. And I hope once you guys go through the programs you choose, then we'll have you sitting here someday and sharing your stories with other students because it's so helpful to hear from them, I'm sure. So thank you very much.
Thank you.